Evolution of transportation. The transport industry has gained a vital place in the global network system and is one of the most important components of the tourism infrastructure. It now becomes easier for people to travel from one place to another because of the various modes of transportation available. The earliest forms of transportation in the ancient times were animals on land and seals on the sea. Travel development from the need to survive, to expand and develop trade to far-off countries, and the hunger to capture new lands and territories. This was followed by the use of steams and electricity in the 19th century, followed by the internal combustion engines. Aircraft with the jet engines were introduced in the 1950s. With the development of technology, travel became faster and more and people could travel around the globe. Since tourism involves the movement of people from their places of residence to the places of tourist attractions, every tourist has to travel to reach the places of interest. Transport is, thus, one of the major components of the tourism industry. To develop any place of tourist attraction, there have to be proper, efficient, and safe modes of transportation. Transportation is vital to tourism. Studies have shown that tourists spend almost 30 to 40% of their total holiday expenditure on transportation and the remaining on food, accommodation, and other activities. This aspect once again highlights the importance of transportation. A tourist can travel by a variety of means. The tourism professional, as well as tourists, should be aware of the various modes of transport available to reach the destination and at the destination. The various modes of transport can be broadly divided into the following three categories: air transport, land transport, water transport. Air transport. Due to the growth of air transport in the recent years, long-distance travel has become much simpler and affordable. Distance is how measured in hours and not in kilometers. The world has indeed shrunk and becomes a small village. The development of air transport mostly occurred after World War I and II. Commercial airlines were created for travelers. Because of increasing air traffic, the commercial sector grows rapidly. Before the World War II, Swiss Air already was carrying around 14 to 16 passengers between Zurich to London. The first commercial service was introduced by KLM, the Dutch Airlines, in 1920 between Amsterdam and London. Commercial air travel grew mostly after World War II. More facilities were introduced and there was more comfort in travel. Road transport. Humans traveled place to place in search of food in the primitive era. They tamed animals such as the dog, ox, horse, camel, reindeer, elephants, etc. for carrying the load and traveling. After the discovery of the wheel, humans developed the cart, the chariot, and the carriage. Today, the most popular and widely used mode of road travel is the automobile or the car. Road transport is dominated by the automobile, which provides views of the landscape and the freedom to travel. Tourists often travel with their entire family for holidays. To promote tourism, the vehicle required are coaches and tourist cars. Tourist coaches or buses are preferred for large tourist groups traveling together on a specified tour itinerary. Many tourists prefer to travel in comfort and privacy and hire cars. Cars of various makes and standards are available on a rental basis. Rail transport. The railway is the most economical, convenient, and popular mode of travel, especially for long-distance travel all over the world. The railroad was invented in the 17th century in Germany with wooden tracks. The first steel rail was developed in the USA during the early 18th century. The railways revolutionized transportation and mass movement of people seen in the 19th and 20th centuries. The broad gauge lines account for more than 55% of the total network and carry 85% of total traffic. The steam engines have been replaced by diesel and electric engines, which have helped in increasing the speed. Railways have promoted tourism by introducing a special tourist train. Water transport. Humans have been traveling through water since time immemorial and carried goods and people from one place to another. The boats progressed from the simplest raft with some modifications and improvement and were first used around 16,000 BC. Travel by ship was the only means for traveling overseas until the middle of the 20th century. The Cunard Steamship Company was formed in 1838 with regular steamship services operating on the North Atlantic. During the World War I, in 1914, the operations of the steamship company had to be suspended. After the World War I, the steamship luxury lines were back to business till World War II. After the World War II, the large luxury liners again started their operations all over the world and carried passengers and holiday makers. Some of the liner were very large, accommodating up to 1,000 passengers and had facilities like swimming pools, cinema halls, shops, casino, etc.